Alright guys, welcome back to Rouse House. We're still drawing using our ultramarine blue, which is an odd color to do a drawing with, but I had an accident with the tube of paint and I'm not wasting paint, so we're going to use this. But hopefully it's giving you a good idea of how to draw. And this is showing up, I think it's just showing up pretty bright where you can see what's going on here. I hope that's working a little bit. Now, so we got that first deck on there. We got to have a little bit of it down here where it's reflecting into the water. So we're going to have that down there. We had to come all the way back to here, and we got the A-frame when we're coming up to here. And whatever we put up there, we got to put down here. We got to reflect into the water. And remember, we got our door there, so let's get a door here. We got a door there, door here. The more detail you put, you're just painting a mirror image of what you did up there. And the better you do this, and that you'll see as we develop this painting, the more you're going to have really to work with. We need that good reflection there. And see, there's the middle of the boat. There's the reflection line, see. When that boat starts running ripples across there, that'll put that down into the water. We're not worried about doing that yet. We're worried about just doing the drawing, getting it on the canvas. We got a pretty good, and boats have arched doors. They do that for strength. So we'll get a little bit of arch in there. And one thing, these poles, these are called stanchions. They hold the upper deck up. So we're going to have those on there. Don't want to lose those. But if you're too close to one, paint the door. Don't look like you're trying to crowd it in. Paint the door into it. Paint the door behind it. Don't worry about it. Okay, our second deck, our second story deck. That door will be a little bit taller. Well, we went through our line. We don't really care. We're still drawing. If you make a mistake, don't worry. We're going to paint over it anyway. Let's make that a little bit taller. Let's get up to there. And then we got and they put arched floors on the boat. And they did look pretty, but that's not why they did it. They do that so the rain runs off. Otherwise, rain will pull up on top, and water weighs a lot. They want to get that water off the boat quick as possible. And we'll have a door here, and a door here, a couple of doors up there. Now again, remember making your circles. Put your brush there, turn your brush. Put your brush there, turn your brush. Another motion, me, put it where y'all can see it. Turn, and I'm trying to do that where I can show y'all what I'm doing there. And that's kind of awkward, but we'll see if we can make that work. As I hope y'all enjoy painting as much as I do. This is so much fun. You know, you sit around, you think of the way you'd like things to be. I could be better than that. The way you'd like to see things. Remember, you got that arched door up here, a little arch top on it, pull it down. So we ain't even started putting colors into it yet. We're just drawing. We're drawing with blue paint. How strange. Then you have your waistband here. Kind of going down the sideways where the top part will be white, the bottom part will be oak or something just to make it fancy. And steps coming down, we'll have that carrying on around, things to paint into. But we don't want our customers, that would be the people that pay to ride on this boat. Remember, so we got that top, we got to have that stanchion in there. We'll have one here, and we'll have one up here at the corners. We don't want them to fall off our boat. We got to put rails on there. But that's one of the things we'll do last. Now back here I'll put it so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. You know, you'd have had so the people didn't fall off the boat, the kids or whoever came along, say. And this is where they'd have the parties and everybody'd have fun on the decks and go outside on a warm summer night because they didn't have air conditioning back then. In fact, they had to have all these doors and windows open to cool this thing off a little bit. And then the real work that went on the boat, it happened up top. And that's where, up here on the very top, you got one more, and that starts. So we're going to have this coming back here, and it's going to come back here all the way to the end. We'll fill in with those rails there. That's too far apart. We'll fill that in. But up here you had the captain's house. And this is where the main piloting, going up and down the river, you'd have the piloting up and down the river. You had the big window there, because he had to see what all was going on. He'd had a little bit overhang to keep that rain from getting under his window. This is pretty much a short cabin up here. He wasn't worried about convenience, he's worried about navigating this river. And he'd have a door coming in here. And he'd have another big window right here. So he wanted to see to both sides. He'd have a window on both sides so that he could see there. And so he can see now. He can see what's around him. And he probably had a couple of kind of like our train picture we did. He's going to have a couple of stacks coming up here. Oh, this was a steamship. You're going to have smoke coming out of the boilers down below. So he's going to have a couple of steamships. Yeah, he's going to have a couple of smokestacks coming up there where that smoke's going to be boiling out, going down the river, being blown down the river. We might even make them just a little bit taller. Let's get up to here one. Don't want to get too tall. We might hit the trees or something going down the river. We'll get up to about there one. And they were joined with a band coming across there. And he'd have to have a way to get up and down, so let's give him a step. Access to the wheelhouse. That's what it's called, a wheelhouse.
Ralph, how do you know so much about steamboats?
Love boats. Any kind of boats. I just like boats. He'd have a little cuddy on top that he could raise up and get some air in there. Well, this is hot for the cabin too. And on the very front, you'd have a mast coming up here. Just like a mast on a sailing ship. Actually very similar, been made out of wood. And it had been attached on the sides, and it had a boom coming out here like this. And that boom was pretty important. Well, that boom would swing side to side, and he'd have had some kind of rigging and all kinds of stuff we can do up here. But the reason he had that, it came down to a cross T, and this was the gangplank. So you can swing that gangplank on and off the boat. See how that's working? See that right there is carrying that, and that would have gone from here to here, and here to here. I tell you what, designing this boat's a lot of fun. I think we can have some fun with this picture. Y'all come back.